Everyone, thank you so much for coming to the IBW Blockdown event. In this panel, we'll be discussing the battle to push Web3 gaming forward. We have two very special guests with me here today. And can you guys please introduce yourselves and what you guys are building at the moment?
Sure. We can start. So, hi everyone. My name is Behfar, Iranmanesh. I'm founder and CEO of Chrono Games. We are a Web3 focused gaming studio based in Hamburg, Germany. We're currently working on Forest Night. It's a turn-based strategy game for mobile. We're actually sponsoring the W3E Championship, so make sure you visit our booth as well. And I'm happy to be here and discuss some Web3 gaming.
Cool. By the way, I love your game. I play your game.
Oh, really? Thank you so much.
So my name is Repetto. I'm building Mokens League, which is an esports platform. We develop our own games and platform. We're starting with a soccer game that you guys can play if you want. And I also have experience building. I know Sebastian very well. I used to be the builder and CEO behind Voxelos, which is, I would say, one of the first VR in blockchain metaverse that we launched back in 2015 and also created Atmosphere. So I've been around this industry for quite some time now.
I love it. Love what you guys are building and can't wait to see what you guys release. My first question is, what do you think needs to happen for Web3 gaming to move forward? I'll let Martin answer that one first.
So, we have 3 billion gamers in the planet right now, right? And we have 1.7, I guess, was last week, Web3 gamers, right? So This is a very, very, very tiny industry. I've been building video games for the past 25 years, right? Built several games that didn't work and 4 that actually, had millions and millions of user plays. What I'm seeing is that something that is similar to what I saw in 2008, 2009, when there was this new thing called Facebook gaming or social gaming. When Sing appeared and everybody was moving to more of a social sort of a space of gaming, I'm seeing the same trend on Web3. I think that Web3 gaming is the future, particularly for indie studios, because it's going to be more open, more decentralized, and larger studios are going to be tending to be more the CX, like more centralized stuff. So I do think that Web3 gaming is the future, especially because of NFTs. Not just tokens. Tokens are fine, but NFTs are the future because they are the past. What I'm saying is we gamers have emotional connection and attachments to characters way before that we could have ownership right now. So I think that this was a match made in heaven, and eventually it would happen. And the future, it is all about owning what you're paying for in games. So that's it.
Right.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you. I think right now we used to do a lot of experimentations. So the play-to-earn era and everything, very experimental. So it really targeted a lot of niche audiences. But as you said, we have billions of mainstream gamers, and they are used to certain quality of products and used to certain experiences. And what they're looking for is more fun and having a good time. And I always say right now, maybe back a year ago, right now we have some very advanced projects, but back a year ago, we were in a Pong phase. So what we tried to do is we wanted to kind of say, hey, we have Pong, please play our games. And then the mainstream players are like, hey, we have Fortnite, why should we play that, right? So it takes some time for the market to kind of evolve. And I see a lot of investment in the industry. And that's something people underestimate. Making games, we run a game studio ourselves. Making games is tough and it takes time. So when the injection of money comes in, it takes some time, 2 years, 3 years to actual products comes out. So I'm predicting that in the next 1 or 2 years, we see actual good games coming out. And then I think it takes one game to really show the way, as for example, how Axie did it, how they kind of pioneered this play-to-earn movement. And then we see all the Steppins and Pigixie, all these other games that may not work right now, but I think it needs one game that does it right. And right is always a term. What does it mean to do it right? And then you're going to see a next wave of Web3 games that actually target mainstream players and can compete with the mainstream games, indie games. And as you said, I think indie games or indie gaming scene is going to benefit from them pretty much because of this decentralization and also this factor of, hey, you can kind of create your own community, because indie games is all about community, and now you can kind of create those in a better way and also in a more rewarding way of for the users. For example, back then, if you want to do an indie game, you maybe do a Kickstarter campaign, right? You grant the early contributors early access to your game. But now with NFTs, you kind of can give them kind of stake in the game. So it is the same process, but it's just more rewarding for the users. And I think going on, the users or the players, in that case, are going to be used to okay, if I want to contribute to something, I want to get or get rewarded for my time. And I say we are trying to make sure that our players can monetize on their biggest asset, their time. And I think that's going to be a standard moving forward. And when the gamers start expecting this feature from all the industry, I think then the bigger studios they have to come after us, because it's something that the players expect. And as long as they don't expect it, they're not gonna move anything or change anything.
Great answers. We're early, and I can't wait to see the future of Web3 gaming. Ownership to assets, that's my big thing about the future of Web3 gaming. I played a lot of games in my life, played a lot of hours, got a lot of skins, and they're worthless now. So the future is here. Right? Moving on to my next question, what are some steps needed to take for Web3 gaming to be adopted by all gamers?
What was the question again?
What are some steps needed to take for Web3 gaming to be adopted by all gamers, not just Web2, like all gamers?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's actually something, that's like the money question, right? I would say that's something
I think we
want to understand the best.
For me, it's about friction. Sorry to interrupt you, but I do think that gamers, there's a main problem. The main problem that we have right now in the industry, the Web3 gaming industry, started by Axie, is that games, they need to be designed a certain way. There's a way to design games, right? Game developers that have been around for a long time, they know this very well. It's mechanic, dynamics, aesthetics, right? That's how you design a game, like very simple. It's mechanics, dynamics, or the meta, and aesthetics. And for a gamer, if you remove one of those components, right, it should not work. Like, for example, take Axie Infinity and you take away the meta, right? If you take about all the blockchain component, Axie Infinity, last year, would not be a great game. You know what I mean? It will be a game that goes actually to the bottom of game charts because it doesn't have the other components, right? So what it will take for Web3 gaming to get massively adopted is two things. First of all, and you guys know this very well, is technology friction, right? So today, blockchain onboarding is still somewhat complicated. It needs to be more of a red carpet experience where the gamer or the user, is not feeling that he's doing a lot of things, like the wallet connecting, the address, like what have you, like all of this. That's technology friction. The other thing is that the games need to be designed in a way that other successful games are designed, with the player focus and UX experience first, not the branding experience first, not all of the things that are layered up on top. Like the mechanics needs to be there. This is very, people repeat this all the time, but they don't get it right. Like games need to be fun. You play games, first of all, to have fun. Then there are other components like the addictive component, the loot box or the going to fishing component, like you never know what you're going to get, like the looting component. There are other mechanics, that are more of a retention mechanics, but the core loop, what is called the core loop, needs to be there. And I am not seeing that happening yet at the grand scheme of things on all things Web3. What I'm seeing is a lot of talk about tokenomics, about marketplaces, about selling stuff, but talk to me about why people would play this game countless and countless of hours that you would play, competitively, or I'm an ex-professional, Counter-Strike players back in 2000, so a long time ago, and Counter-Strike was developed by the community. It's a mod, it's a Half-Life mod, right? Valorant developed by ex-Counter-Strike players. League of Legends came out of Dota, which was a mod. This all goes back to gamers. It's gamers who understand what gamers want. So I think that the change will happen when us gamers, you said it, developing a game, guys, takes a lot of time and a lot of money. We saw a great presentation about this today. Great presentation. And that takes a lot of time. So I think that we are so early. We are like, I talk to my investors like, guys, don't rush it. Like, we are 5 years away. We are 5 years away, and we are at technical alpha right now. We have 1,000 people play testing our game, and I think that we are 5 years away. So it just takes time, lower the barrier, the entry barrier, technology barrier, and just get that core loop right. That's for me.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Like, first of all, the UX needs to work. So a player doesn't want to, as you said, connect wallet. Like, I mean, we are in mobile games, and what we're trying to do, or regular mobile games try to do, how can we make sure that the player can start the game with the lowest click as possible, right? Like, just jump in. And right now, the games, you need a bachelor's degree in blockchain first, and wallet, connect, blah, blah, blah. So it's like this friction is just there. So it needs to go away first, in my opinion. Right. And as you said, the core loop, so if we take the game and make it like modular, and we take the blockchain part out, if the game is not fun still, then the game's not going to work out, like, basically. So the core loop, as Martin said, needs to work out without the blockchain part. And I think the philosophy of game developers should be, or what we are trying to do is, gaming first, blockchain second. So create a fun game first and add the blockchain module to it to enhance the player experience and give them even more benefits or user experience. Like, I mean, I think right now we are also thinking very simply, like, okay, ownership, so we have game achievements, make those NFTs, that's it, right? I think it's right now still very lazy thinking. I think at some point in the next years, as the time goes on, because as we said, creating games takes time, we're going to see actual mechanics are around that possibility of ownership. Like, I mean, virtual economies were in games forever still, right? It's nothing new. Like, that's why I think the gaming narrative is going to be also the mainstream, which bring the technology mainstream, because it's technically nothing new. So we need to make sure that the existing virtual economy just is, let's say, ported on the blockchain without the users know it. And then I think we have a great game. So the player plays the game, they don't even know that's the technology behind it, because at the end, maybe you send an email, you don't care what protocol is behind it. You need to make sure, you just want to, your email is there. And the gamers are the same. They want to say, hey, I don't care really what chain, what is going on. I just want to have fun. I want to just jump in the game, have competitive play, rank up, whatever. So I think that's going to be the way to bring the games to the mainstream.
I completely agree. You give them a little taste first, let them play the game, and then get them educated on the technology behind it, right? One of the biggest problems I see is accessibility. I know you guys touched up on it a little bit, but how can you make Web3 games more accessible to a newbie, per se?
Well, I have a very, very simple answer to that question. It's something that happened 2010, I believe, like the surge of the free-to-play era, right? We came from different models, business models, still alive today, but free-to-play is the answer. Like we've seen at the monetization level. For example, Fortnite is a great example. You play Fortnite, right? So Fortnite actually is not what the Fortnite that you guys know is not the original Fortnite, right? Fortnite was a $59.99, I think. It was a premium price game. It was a little bit of a tower defense, something
Save the world,
right? And then they switch everything to have what they have today, which is a free-to-play game where you can experience 100% of the experience for free, right? Like Valorant. Valorant, same thing. You play for free. And I think there's nothing more accessible in the world full of content that creating somehow a free version, free for the users. We have a free game, there's nothing free. You still need to pay for the server services. So we will pay you somehow, we'll support you so you can play our product, and if you like it, we'll tend to monetize it. And I do think that two things, like free to play and mobile Web3 gaming, which is right now is very, very minimal. Like today, Web3 blockchain gaming is actually 90% or more PC gaming. That's why we're building PC first. But I think that trend is going to go away, and it's going to go to mobile. It's going to go to mobile. Apple already announced that they're going to allow people to be, putting NFTs on the marketplace, and of course it's going to be really expensive, but at least it's a possibility. But I think is that the combination of traditional, gaming monetization mechanics that have been there for more than 10 years, almost 20 now, and mobile gaming as well. I think that will be lowering the barrier in as much as possible. And you said something, I think he touched something that I want to mention, because there's a lot of people trying to raise money, right? So you go to talk to VCs, especially a lot of investors that come in from the blockchain world, and one of the things that I've been finding in my many calls with funds that I had in the past, what have you, a year, is like, one of the questions like, what chain are you building on? You know what I mean? Like they want to know, it's all about the chain, it's all about the Web3 stuff, and that's so wrong, guys, you know what I mean? It's about, what are you building? Can I play the game without any blockchain component first? I want to see that. That's what I want to see from the investor point of view. I'm also an investor. Like, the most important thing is not the chain that you're working on, because that, guys, is probably going to change. I mean, we just saw FTX blew up. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks ago, that they were second largest chain in the world. They don't exist anymore. So that's not the important part. The important part is the product that the people is going to use, and if that product has UX and mechanics that people would like to play, aside from whatever technology behind it you're building on. You know, I built my own engine back in the day. Then I met David Helgason in 2007, and he told me, Martin, please use Unity. You know, we're starting with this new thing, and I moved to Unity, and then, you know, I built games with Unreal, and now back at Unity. You know, it doesn't matter. It's all about using the right tools for building the right product, you know? And it's the same goes with blockchain. It's not that important what blockchain are we using, but just the experience that we are creating.
I totally agree with you. Like, it's funny that you mentioned it. I think, as you said, it really depends on what type of VCs. And I realized the gaming VCs, they understand it very well. Like, they always ask, hey, how does the game look like? Send me a vertical slice, blah, blah, blah. But like a Web3 or blockchain VC, they don't really care. They ask for a blockchain. And I think, as you said, I don't think it makes sense. And also, I mean, what they look at is, they look at liquidity, right? They say, okay, Solana, a lot of users, blah, blah, but they don't understand that the mainstream players, they don't use any chain. Right. So it doesn't really matter where you are as long as you build this game that allows them to use something. And that's why I think why right now there are a lot of fight in L1s and also gaming chains coming out, because the market is still very open, because the majority of users don't really care what chain they are, as long as you offer the best UX. You win. And as Martin said, I think right now PC games, it has a very good stack. The UX is actually okay. I think the biggest challenge is going to be the mobile stack. And I think mobile is also the most accessible for the, let's say, Southeast Asia, Latin America. I think that is going to be bringing the mainstream push for mobile games. As you said, free to play back then. I think going to be like Web3 free to play titles for mobile. So the mobile stack needs to get better and better. And I think we have great companies coming up. For example, Stardust, they kind of PlayFab, for example, right? So they offer these all the technology bringing it behind the scenes, because mobile is very, as I said, you need to jump into the game and and let your player see, okay, the game is fun. You cannot like let them, hey, you need to educate yourself to play our game. So I think for mobile stack, most technology needs to go in the backside. And I mean, what we're doing is we're trying to like kind of hide that we are an NFT game at all. So they just play, and at some time they can like bring their NFT to their wallet if they want to, and if they don't want to, they can still play normally. So I think we need to cut this user barrier of, hey, do you need to have something blockchain to just play or enjoy playing? So it is more create fun features that let the players, incentivize the player to go to the blockchain route rather than forcing them. I think that is going to be the route.
Exactly, play and earn, not play to earn, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, lower the barrier to entry and let people try your game and get addicted or want to play, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you guys think Web2 gaming companies aren't joining in the space so quickly?
Oh, I think they are. I think that we are going to see a massive shift. And the shift from Web2 gaming, or let's call it games that they don't have any sort of blockchain technology implementation, to having technology implementation in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be massive. It's going to be more than 90%. But the reason being, not the companies, it's going to be the users. You know, users will request for this. You know, this is how it's usually been. You know, we have genres, we have gaming genres that are being invented by the community. MOBA, right? You know, it's one of them. So it's going to be the users that is going to be requesting the Epics and the UBs and the EAs of this world, like the big corporations that develop, you know, massively sold and massively marketed video games, that they're going to see, hey, you know what, I'm playing this game, but why don't you have a wallet? Why don't I have an NFT on these Ubisoft Rainbow Six whatever game? You know what I mean? Why all my agents that I'm paying to unlock, why I cannot take them out? Why I cannot flex with them in whatever social media I'm using? So these requests will come from the gamers, and it's not that we're not seeing Web2 companies making the jump. The thing is, like, you are going to be seeing the indie developers like us doing it first, creating sort of the baselines, and a lot of us are going to get acquired, a lot of us are going to fail, and some of us are going to be successful, whoever it is. And the big corporations, they always follow a trend. That's why you see, very big companies then coming up with their version of Counter-Strike or whatever, or of this game that were community developed. So I think this is going to be a natural step, that when the audience or the users start requesting that Web3 component that they don't even know how it works because it's so transparent that it's just an inventory, but that inventory is powered by blockchain, yada, yada, that's when everybody's going to end up making the change, I think it's going to be player drive.
Yeah, I mean, I think so as well. I mean, I believe as well, I know they're already there, but how the bigger studios operate, they just operate more slowly, right? In these studios, they have like smaller teams, smaller chain of command, and they can experiment, they can try new stuff. Bigger studios, they are very data-driven. They need to see the numbers first. They need to first ask 10 people to do something. So they move slowly, and they don't want to take that much risks. So they're waiting to see how the scene is going to develop, and they're going to follow up on data-driven decisions. And that's what I think. As soon as one game, for example, Axie was a very good example. Axie did so well that people got their attention, like Ubisoft and the bigger studios. Like, how does Axie do so much money? It doesn't mean they're going to jump in, because they have their schedule, they have their public company, they have the balance sheets, everything. But they get curious, and then starting to think about it, they're much slower, see the scene, how the companies do, and I think a lot of wave of acquiring other companies, because a lot of companies who are doing this blockchain gaming, they're ahead of the knowledge, so they need to buy the knowledge somewhere, so they're probably going to acquire a lot of companies, and then start developing games, as you said, if the users want them. And I still believe we need one game that is massively successful to let the user know, okay, this is a possibility. It's very similar to Airbnb. Like Airbnb, how they kind of created a market. Like, no one knew that it's possible to rent your home to someone. That's completely insane for people. They say, hey, it's possible. So they kind of created this market. And I think a Web3 game needs to create this awareness in mainstream place that this is something possible without any sacrifice on your gaming experience.
Right. Imagine if League of Legends or Valorant had a competition in the Web3 gaming, how fast would they switch over to NFTs, right?
Exactly.
Imagine that. That's a crazy thought. But yeah, time for a more fun question. What are you guys most excited for the future of Web3 gaming? It could be anything.
For me, it's ownership. When I think about, and this is very personal, and also because I'm old, right? For a gamer, because I'm a father. I'm also consider I'm going to be a grandfather gamer because I still game. I have set night sessions of gaming, right? So for me, this reminds me when I was a kid. I used to go to my friends or my cousin's house, and I would bring my toys. Right? I would bring my toys to their house, and I would have G.I. Joes or Legos or Playmobiles, and they would have He-Man or Playmobiles, and everything matched. You know what I mean? So different metaverses, different universes, different toys, different looks and feel. But when you are together gaming, right, everything match. And that sort of is, for me, is a perfect analogy why this is going to work, I remember when we built Atmosphere, which was, by the way, Atmosphere is like Minecraft and Roblox, a predecessor, it's an TechCrunch 50 2008 runner-up. We had no internet, we have, basically we had no internet, we had no social gaming, and we created this idea, we had this idea of creating a tool that allow anyone, anywhere to build games and share them online. It's is so simple. It's Minecraft, right? And Roblox, and of course Sandbox, and all of these guys. But for us, it was like a no-brainer. Like, this is going to happen, whether we are going to build it. And we were pretty successful, like 4 million users, 285,000 words created. You know, we did really well, but we had to fold it. We folded, you know, Lego Universe folded, and other games folded. But Roblox, which is really tiny at the moment, it's still it's a $20 billion company, right? Minecraft, you know, got sold by 1.6 billion at a time, and, you know, and these guys are doing great. And so it will work. And this will be the same thing. It will take, you said it right. You know, it will take that one product that make it right. But interoperability of NFTs and ownership are, for me, like that's a secret sauce. You know, that going back to, I mean, I have a 10-year-old son who completely understands this, more than VCs that I've met, way more. Like, yeah, of course, this is my character, it's mine. It's mine, it's my character, I'll take them out of this game, and can I put it in your game? No, you can't. Well, now you can, because we are doing deals with other gaming companies, because it makes sense to upcoming generations of gamers that this is common sense, you know. So it will take, you know, a game, like he said, and for me, interoperability, like moving your stuff around. Like Sebastian Borget was just saying this, you know, very, very well as well. You know, I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think interoperability is like the most fun concept. I also like looking forward, like the idea of like putting, I mean, you also said it, like you put so much time into a product, and be able to bringing those time and to somewhere else is just amazing. Like I remember I put a lot of time, for example, in World of Warcraft, in Skyrim, everything, right? Yeah. League of Legends as well, Valorant now. But I think I'm also very excited about virtual economies, like to see the next big MMO RPG kind of get it. Because, I mean, I was always like an MMORPG fan myself. And I just see it there, like I can see it, that it just makes sense. It just needs someone to create it. And I know MMORPG is a hard thing, and the market of MMO is tough. But I'm super excited about that part of genre. Like, if a studio, I mean, there's very nice games right now out there, like they're trying to do that. Get this new MMO with like an actual virtual economy, which you really can contribute to, and you can like extract value if you put a lot of time in it. I think that's something very exciting, like the kid in me kind of very excited about, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. I grew up playing a lot of MMOs, so I know all about it. Imagine going on a raid, killing a boss with your friends, and like finding the rare sword, right? Imagine what you can do with that NFT sword. Yeah. You know, the oyster is your world, right?
That's true, yeah.
Well, that about wraps it up for us. Thank you guys so much for your time and speaking up on stage. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.